Today on Investigate TV Plus, closing colleges leave students with a degree of uncertainty.
If you had known the school was going to shut down before you could finish your degree, would you have gone there still?
No, ma'am.
We examine why and uncover the real-life consequences for students.
Plus, a mother says she was forced to have her baby in a jail cell.
He was in the toilet for a few seconds. We got him out. I thought, honestly, I really did think he was dead at first.
Her fight to draw attention to the plight of pregnant women behind bars.
Any other woman should never have to go through that ever again.
Then, threading connections.
So you're gonna go around 2 times. You got this. You can do this.
The craft creating community between both old and young.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus.
It might be one of the biggest investments you'll make in your life. I'm T. Chappelle.
And I'm Lee Zurich. Each year, the typical college student spends nearly $40,000 on tuition, books, supplies, and daily living expenses. According to U.S. News and World Report, of the colleges they surveyed during the 2024-25 school year, public in-state universities charged an average $11,000 for the year on tuition and fees alone, and private colleges more than $43,000. But for some students, they'll never get to see that investment pay off.
A growing number of colleges and universities are shutting down before the students have a chance to graduate.
Reporter Kristen Crowley finds out why and speaks to some of those impacted the most.
This is the last year of college for Elijah Reynolds,
It feels totally different.
but he's not a senior,
I would have had 1 year left.
and he won't be leaving with a degree.
You had no idea the school is headed for closure.
No idea.
Elijah was one of hundreds of students at Fontbonne University in St. Louis, blindsided when he heard this announcement posted to Fontbonne's website.
It is with deep sadness and great regret that I am announcing Fontbonne will not admit a freshman class in fall 2024.
Financial struggles that it couldn't overcome meant the end of its more than 100-year existence. If you had known the school was going to shut down before you could finish your degree, would you have gone there still?
No, ma'am.
Travion Swigart and Elijah were teammates on Fontbonne's football team.
I enjoyed my time there.
Unlike Elijah, Travion, a sophomore, opted not to return for the school's final year. He didn't see the point.
For us to just lose more money, it's closing anyways. So it's like, I'm paying for y'all to just shut down.
Elijah and Travion are now staring down a reality many students in their shoes face:
Now what's next for you?
I have no clue right now.
an uncertain future. In the 2004-2005 school year, the National Center for Education Statistics says 3 colleges or universities closed their doors. Closures didn't exceed double digits until 2016, when 112 higher education institutions closed. 2 years later, the closures more than doubled to 236. More than 150 colleges have closed in the years since.
It's really an important issue for students, and we're seeing more and more closures.
Dan Zibel is vice president of the group Student Defense. It started in 2017 with a strong focus on problems with student loan debt. But recently, college closures have become an increasing burden.
How often are you being contacted by people asking for help about this issue?
All the time. We see this issue all the time for students who are, wondering what their rights are, for students who are wondering, how do I access, my school closed a year ago, how do I access my transcript?
For-profit colleges make up the bulk of the closures, and that's been true for years. But more private, non-profits like Fontbonne are struggling, and even public colleges are not immune. The University of Wisconsin system closed multiple satellite campuses, citing a 27% drop in enrollment from 2020 to 2022. Experts say lack of enrollment is a main driver behind the closures. There were more than 18 million undergraduates in 2010, a number that's dropped every year, hitting 15.2 million by 2023. That's led to a financial hit some schools just can't recover from, leaving students high and dry. So when a college closes, what recourse do students have when they're left with thousands in college loans and no degree? Knowing a college is in dire financial straits isn't typically easy for the students, but experts say the schools themselves tend to know, sometimes years in advance.
If they made misrepresentations to you, that could be a legal hook.
Keith Ellison is the Attorney General for the state of Minnesota. He's launched lawsuits against multiple colleges for sudden closures. One of his biggest successes was against Argosy University. It had campuses across the country and suddenly shut down in 2018. Ellison came together with attorneys general from 9 other states to try and make the students whole.
We were able to cancel in total about $2.1 million in institutional debt that students at these 12 campuses had incurred.
You've gone after multiple schools that have failed students, that have closed suddenly. What's the responsibility of attorneys general across the country when it comes to the issue of sudden school closures?
Enforcement. You got to listen to the victims of these things.
Elijah isn't sure if college is in his future anymore.
Being able to play football and get my degree, that's what I wanted.
He's weighing his other options, including finding a new career.
Warehouse jobs, post office.
Jobs that don't require college degrees.
Yeah.
Preparing not just to say goodbye to his college, but the life he thought he'd have because of it.
Life is just unfair.
A study from the State Higher Education Executive Officers Association found fewer than half of students re-enroll in another college once theirs shuts down. Both Elijah and Travion are uncertain if they will continue their education. We reached out to Fontbonne University for an interview about its closure. It declined to comment.
If your school closes, there are resources the federal government offers.
There's a college navigator site that can help you connect with schools that fit your goals and will take your credits. StudentAid.gov offers information about closed school loan discharges. Still ahead, the pain of losing a pregnancy.
My first question was, I have to deliver her now?
We take a look at the device allowing parents to share precious final moments with their child.
But first, she was pregnant behind bars and says she was denied critical care for her newborn.
No one should have to have a baby in a jail cell, especially when I made them very much aware, hey, I'm having a baby, let's get to a hospital.
How she hopes her story will save infants from a similar fate. According to a 2024 report from the Prison Policy Initiative, on any given day, there are more than 200,000 incarcerated women behind bars.
But no matter the crime or whether they're simply waiting for trial, many face an unexpected additional punishment, restricted or delayed access to critical healthcare products. This is a demonstration of how millions of women across the country create a standard hygiene product that most of us take for granted. It's what incarcerated women often have to do when the period products they need aren't available in prison.
When you rip off that cover, all of those little fibers just kind of go airborne, and they go up inside of you.
Kimberly Haven says makeshift tampons and pads caused her to develop toxic shock syndrome. Following her release in 2015 from the Maryland Correctional Institution for Women, Haven needed an emergency hysterectomy.
It is dehumanizing, it is demeaning, it is a problem universally across the country.
Our investigation found most states don't have any written policies related to the availability of period products. Only 6 had policies specifying women should get the period products they need at any time of day or night.
Our criminal record does not define us, but what we do to people that are incarcerated is what they bring home.
Women's issues in the penitentiary system don't end there.
According to the American Medical Association, between 5 and 10% of women enter prison and jail pregnant. And each year, an estimated 2,000 babies are born to incarcerated women. An article in the AMA's Journal of Ethics calls neonatal care in prison, quote, unacceptable, saying inmates are often shackled during labor and separated from their babies after birth.
A Tennessee woman says her calls for medical help went ignored, which forced her to give birth in a jail cell toilet.
1 year after her release, she opened up about her experience with reporter Jeremy Finley.
It is a life Alicia Moulton could not have imagined.
I was in a bad state at that point.
On August 19, 2023, she knew she was strung up on drugs and charged with burglary when she was booked in the Montgomery County Jail. What she didn't know is that she was also pregnant.
See if, how far along I was is really what I wanted to know, because I was concerned. I wanted to make sure he was healthy, you know what I mean? Like, especially the lifestyle I had lived up into that point.
You obviously were using drugs at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You obviously had committed a crime.
Mm-hmm.
How much responsibility you take?
I shouldn't have been living that lifestyle that I was living. Like I said, people make mistakes.
But even after a pregnancy test in the jail confirmed it, Moulton says in her lawsuit that the medical staff with Southern Health Partners never took her to see a doctor, and she was never given an ultrasound. She was also detoxing from her drug addiction.
I cried to the nurses. There was times where I cried. One of the nurses even held my hand and told me, you'll just get through this.
Even with her first pregnancy with her daughter, she didn't show. So when she started experiencing labor pains just a week later, she asked to see a doctor. A nurse's note shows they could not feel contractions on her stomach.
She was like, he's up too high, you're too small, you're not having contractions. Looked me right in the eye and told me I'm not having contractions. No one should have to have a baby in a jail cell, especially when I made them very much aware, hey, I'm having a baby, let's get to a hospital.
What followed would make headlines across the country. When medical staff left, Moulton would give birth to her son Aiden alone in the toilet in her cell.
He was in the toilet for a few seconds. We got him out. Honestly, I really did think he was dead at first.
In her lawsuit, Moulton is suing Southern Health, claiming they were indifferent to her suffering. Moulton's attorney writing this lawsuit shines a light on this often overlooked social issue and raises awareness of the civil rights of pregnant inmates.
Any other woman should never have to go through that ever again. Mm-mm.
Now, Moulton is working and taking care of her daughter and son. Knowing the day will come, Aiden will ask about the day he was born.
I still have nightmares about it. And like I told you, it's on his birth certificate where he was born, and I hate that for him. That's where his place of birth, Montgomery County Jail.
In August 2024, Alicia Moulton filed a lawsuit against the medical provider at the Montgomery County Jail, Southern Health Partners Incorporated. We've reached out to Southern Health Partners multiple times, asking for their policy of how pregnant inmates should be treated. No response yet. In Nashville, I'm Jeremy Finley.
Younger generations embrace a craft associated with grandmothers.
I had a 9-year-old that out-crocheted me. Yes, it happens.
We meet a group stitching yarn in special bonds.
But first, a mom traumatized by her pregnancy loss thanks the nurses who were at her side.
They would just treat her like any other baby.
We reveal how love, support, and a special device can help parents heal. Experiencing the loss of a pregnancy is grief unlike any other. According to the CDC, each year, about 21,000 babies are stillborn in the U.S. The agency defines stillbirth as a pregnancy loss after the 20th week of gestation.
Some parents who experience this loss may want to see their baby afterwards to hold them for the first and last time.
Thanks to a device in hospitals across the country, they can.
The Cuddle Cot is a portable cooling device that allows families to spend more time with their baby after a loss. It works by cooling the baby to preserve their body, which then gives families time to mourn and make arrangements without feeling rushed.
A mom who lost her baby at 28 weeks says she was able to preserve precious moments thanks to the Cuddle Cot.
After the love and support she received from her nurses, Jenna Green was inspired to honor them.
Reporter Ashley Hendricks shows us how.
Jenna Green is no stranger to St. Mary's Hospital. From working as the spokesperson for Bon Secours to starting her family here, she's grown to love this place. But what was once a place of joy in the labor and delivery unit turned to a place of sorrow. It was July 2023. Jenna was heading to her scheduled doctor's appointment with her OBGYN.
I knew something was off, and so we had moved it up a little bit, but I never really anticipated what what we found.
She was 28 weeks pregnant with her second child, Riley.
The ultrasound tech, had taken a quick look, and we could see the screen and could tell that it was a little off, but she turned it off and then, said, put her hand on my shoulder and just said, take a deep breath.
That's when she and her husband Daniel learned there was no heartbeat.
Instantly, our world just shattered. It was just like the world fell out from under us for a good while.
A wave of emotions and questions overwhelmed them both as they began to process their sudden loss.
My first question was, I have to deliver her now?
Still in utter disbelief, they arrived at St. Mary's Hospital for delivery.
We were like, how do you get through this? And she said, you just put one foot in front of the other, and that is something that stayed with us for a long time.
While processing their next steps, they were able to hold on to little Riley a while longer with a cuddle cot. The portable box includes a refrigerated cot inside that preserves the baby's body, giving the couple and the nurses the gift of time.
They would just treat her like any other baby, and they would come in and, say her name and tell her how beautiful she was, and that helped make us more comfortable because we weren't really sure how to handle this.
During that time, nurses Nita, Courtney, and Lauren created every detail of a memory box with Riley's hand and footprints.
We make bands, we have weighted angels, so that they have something that would be similar to the baby's weight to take home.
It was Courtney who thought the giraffe, whose name also happened to be Riley, would be a perfect fit.
It's a time that they're going to remember forever, and it's so important to just show up and be there and just give the best that you can every day.
Not every single moment of even the darkest birth story is bad. There's still human moments, there's still laughter, there's grief.
To this day, Jenna and Daniel don't know what caused the death of Riley, but they know therapy and surrounding themselves with loved ones makes the road to healing a bit easier.
It takes a village to raise a baby, but it takes a village to mourn one too.
Ever since Riley's loss, Jenna and Daniel make sure their oldest son Hudson and newest daughter Dallas know and love Riley. And Jenna was able to fundraise enough money to bring a second cuddle cot to St. Mary's Hospital. In Richmond, Virginia, I'm Ashley Hendricks.
Still ahead, a timeless craft helps weave a community together.
So you're gonna go around 2 times. You got this. We just come here and we crochet. We have all levels, all ages.
How a hook and yarn are helping people connect.
Crochet is a form of fiber art that uses one hook and yarn to make interlocking stitches. Unlike knitting or weaving, crochet cannot be replicated by a machine.
Experts say this is because in the majority of crochet cases, you can't move on to the next stitch without closing the current one. So if you see a so-called crochet sweater in a department store, it's technically not crochet because it most likely wasn't made by hand.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Lesson learned today,
learning something new.
All right, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, one group is making sure this centuries-old craft thrives in their community.
Reporter Elizabeth Vowell takes us to the class getting younger generations hooked.
I already know I have about 4 or 5 that I have not finished.
It's one of those skills that takes you back to another time.
If you think about your family heirlooms, the quilt that your great aunt made.
You only need to do that slip stitch once.
That sweater that your grandma knitted.
This is gonna be a poncho.
To be able to give that to somebody who might really need it is a great feeling.
This is like 4 skeins of yarn.
Joe here learned from his babysitter some 50-odd years ago.
And I stuck with it. And I've been doing it ever since.
Now, what are you making?
Ann Brown learned from her great aunt when she was 12.
Then you're gonna do your single crochet around.
Now she's teaching another child.
So you're gonna go around 2 times. You got this. You can do this.
Miss Abigail, she's 10.
But I had a 9-year-old that out crocheted me. Yes, it happens.
This is Threadheads.
So it isn't that hard.
A crochet group offered by the Greenwell Springs Road Branch Library in East Baton Rouge.
We just come here and we crochet. We have all levels, all ages.
Every Monday evening, you'll find a collection of crochet enthusiasts from beginners like Abigail
I mean, I can't keep up with knitting, so
to pros like Joe,
we need some granny squares.
You all right over there?
all busy with their hooks and yarn.
Some people come in, they want a project. Some people come in, they want help with their project, or we just chill and just crochet. This is the Alpine stitch.
Anne is the group organizer.
So this is a sampler.
She says crochet can be a type of therapy, and interest in the craft has grown over the years.
Oh, it's just a nice way to come together and fellowship, because there's so many people out there that feel isolated, and I think that was really bad during COVID, but I think we're coming back together now and people are starting to realize that we need to hang out together, socialize, because we are social creatures.
These are all made from Walmart bags.
And Threadheads isn't the only craft group offered by the EBR library system.
We're making very specific projects.
Librarian Ashley Michelle runs Crochet for a Cause once a month out of the main library on Goodwood.
I wanted to do something a little different, like maybe something that could give back to the community.
Their projects go to specific charities,
So we can make a blanket out of that.
including waterproof mats for homeless people
We make what's called plarn.
and Project Linus, which provides blankets for kids going through a tough time.
And these are getting donated. When we give away the blankets, that's our way of trying to tell the recipients, we can't be there physically to give you a hug, but here's what we can give you.
I love it.
No matter the group,
That can be a scarf or a shawl.
the skill level,
And it took me a while to figure that out.
or the cause,
These are prosthetics for women who have gone through mastectomies.
the goal is the same.
These kinds of programs bring adults together.
Binding people together, like crocheting has done for generations.
This is how I'm going to change the world, one stitch at a time.
And that's it for us here on Investigate TV Plus. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. Thanks for watching. On the next Investigate TV Plus, it's the promise of a quick fix for hangovers, travel troubles, even serious illnesses. IV therapy clinics are popping up nationwide.
In these situations where you literally have someone's life in your hands, there has to be a procedure.
We uncover how a lack of consistent regulations can lead to serious injuries or death.